You will not believe what happened when my client and I were doing a final walkthrough. The house caught on fire, yes. So before I get into this fire story, let me explain really quick what a final walkthrough is. A final walkthrough is where you and your agent walk through the home and visually inspect the property to ensure that your requested repairs have been done. Now, this is from your inspection period, because remember that you have 10 days of due diligence to inspect the property and request repairs. And during the final walkthrough, you can also verify that there is no other damage done to the house since you last saw it. This is also a good time to check to see if any of the appliances have been swapped out, because unfortunately it can happen. So let's say, for example, that the fridge and washer and dryer come with the sale of the house. You want to make sure that the seller did not swap out these appliances and left you with something that you didn't agree to. So you can take care of this during the final walkthrough. A final walkthrough is usually done a few days before closing, which is your last chance to address any previously agreed upon terms. So back to my fire story. We're walking through the house, which is a one-story, by the way, and as I'm walking through the kitchen towards the back of the house, I see flames through the window that leads to the back patio. And I'm thinking to myself, did the sellers leave the fire pit going? Because I know that the sellers had just left right before we arrived. Anyway, I go outside onto the patio, and lo and behold, there was no fire pit, but something had caught on fire, and this something was right next to the house. I was in shock. My client was stressed. Like, this had never happened to me before. What are the odds of something like this happening anyway? I called 911. I called the seller's agent. We evacuated the house. And the firefighters, they arrived within a few minutes, but it seemed like a lot longer because I was like really worried that the main house would catch on fire. Now, they were able to put the fire out, and there was no damage to the main house except for some soot on the outside wall. Come to find out, one of the occupants is a smoker, and the cigarette butt wasn't all the way out, and it was thrown into a small plastic garbage can, which is what caught on fire. And I'm just so thankful that we had our walkthrough when we did, because if we weren't there, I believe that the fire would have spread and there would have been a lot more damage. Now, if you find yourself in a situation like this, which I really hope you don't, or maybe the final walkthrough revealed unresolved issues, I recommend delaying closing until there is a resolution, because once closing happens, that property and the repairs are now yours. So be sure to rectify any and all issues before closing. Now, in my client's case, because we had agreed to a leaseback, we did move forward with the closing as scheduled, but we also got in writing that the seller would hire a professional to clean the soot, as well as hire an inspector to ensure that there was no damage to the foundation. Fortunately, the damages were repaired the day after closing, and all is well now. So be sure to do that final walkthrough, because you just never know. Now, with that being said, you can get all of the details about home inspections and what to look for in my book, The Complete Guide to Buying a Home, and you can get it for free by clicking on the link below in the description box. I'm Renee, the Realtor. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.